TxStampin Sharon. I am making some easel cards today that I'm calling framed art easel cards. You'll see what I mean. I hope that you enjoy this video. I'd love to hear your comments below. I love those thumbs up. All of those things make me smile. I answer all of your comments. If you currently do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be honored to help you with your Stampin' Up! Supply needs. You can find all my information in the description box below. You can find out how to contact me, my blog, and my website. Let's get started. So today we are making framed designer series paper easel cards. So pretty. I mean, can you see that I even put a window sheet? I made it look like framed art because it is. I love the Peaceful Poppies Designer Series papers. They're just so pretty. Let's frame them. I thought about framing them, hanging on my wall, but I decided let's make a card. All right, so I put my sentiment on the inside, and this is just meant to stand up on someone's table or their desk or whatever. Here's another one. Same thing. I've got some different things to talk to you about what's holding my card up. I did use the stitched rectangle dies, the So Sentimental stamp set, and on one of my cards, I used the flower from the Painted Poppies. Now, I have my Poppy Parade cardstock on my Simply Scored tool, and it is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. And then I have a layer of the Designer Series paper that's the blueprint, and it measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and add some snail, and I'm going to put a lot because the first time I made the card, it kind of popped up. So I'm going to spin this around, and I'm going to place this center on one of the panels. I'm going to keep it on my Simply Scored. And then I'm going to score it at 2 3/4. Now, I love the Simply Scored tool because it really lets me give this a good crease because I'm going through 2 layers of paper. When I made it the first time, I scored my cardstock first and then my Designer Series paper. Don't do that. You're going to waste everything because when I put the adhesive on and I did this, my paper buckled and popped up. So we're going to grab our bone folder. And we're going to give this a good crease. Okay, so I told you I use my stitched rectangle dies. Here is a great tip for you. These dies are a little bit odd shaped, so sometimes it's hard to know what the measurements are. So just cut your Designer Series paper, your window sheet, and this with the same die that you use to cut out the frame. Now I skipped, hold on, let's grab this. When I chose my dies, I skipped one of the frames and went to the next one. So I would have about 1/4 inch of a frame. So this is the side of the DSP that is going to be facing. This is what we're framing. So I have it on my silicone mat, and I'm just going along the edge. And there will be a little bit of excess glue on the edges, but I'm going to teach you another trick. All right, so we're going to make sure there's nothing, you know, these window sheets really get staticky, and I don't want to use an embossing buddy because I don't want it to leave a residue, but I'm just going to lay this right over this, like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing again to frame our picture of these beautiful poppies. And then I'm going to lay my frame right over it again. Oh, I can't get my head over the camera because, I mean, my head right over it because the camera's there. Oh, good. It didn't stick. We're going to start at the bottom. There we go. So I mentioned that there is some adhesive on the edges. If you will take your pick tool and just give that a good rub, it just sticks to the metal. And then you just wipe off the tip, okay? Now, we're going to add it to our card, and this is important because this is an easel card. Remember, it needs to move. So we're just going to take and we're going to add some adhesive. I like to just lay this here so I see how wide it is, and I'm only adding adhesive to the bottom portion only. Okay, so now we're ready to center this piece on here. Rub it really good from the back. And now this part is not stuck down. Got it? All right, so we have our Whisper White layer. I don't think I told you, but it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm using Poppy Parade ink pad. I need lots of thank you cards right now. I'm sending lots of thank you cards. I have friends who've been picking up things for me and dropping them off in a tote outside my door. And, you know, all of you guys who place orders with me, I send you thank you cards. Speaking of thank you, if you are new to my channel and you are just now tuning in, I want to welcome you. And I invite you to hit that subscribe button below so that you'll be notified every time I upload a video. Make sure you hit the notification bell, that little bell beside it. All right, so we're going to lay this here. Now for our final element, I use the elements from the Poppy Parade. There's several different pieces, okay? And I loved these. On the one card, on this card, I actually stamped the posy and the leaves and cut them out. But I decided, I got a lot of these. Let's use these up. So I've already put dimensionals on the back of this element, and then I've left the leaves on here. First of all, they're hard to keep up with. I'm going to be using my Stampin' blends, and I'm using the dark and the light of the Old Olive. And I'm just going to come in, and I'm just going to kind of color a little bit. I'm kind of mimicking the shading of the Designer Series paper. These are embossed, so it's going to start resisting. See that? There we go. Super fun. And we're going to let that dry. It only takes a few seconds. And like I said, I'm trying to mimic the Designer Series paper. There's even a little white spot right there. So I'm not even worried if I didn't get the whole leaf colored, because it looks just like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide how far do I want this to stand up. And that's where I will put my flowers. And I have found that if I still dig my fingernail in and then take my Take Your Pick tool, these backings just come off so well. And I just love that they are all in one place. Okay, so again, decide where you want that. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. Hold on, I'm going to do it. All right, so these leaves are a softer color. I'm going to come in and I'm going to color them. To make them match. There you go. I'm going to add snail to the backs of some of my leaves, and then I'm going to actually add a dimensional to the other one. And I can just place these where I want them. And I added the dimensional to help keep that, to give the flower some support to keep the card up. 3 different cards. I know that this is a bad angle for the camera, but perfect for framing that artwork and making a beautiful thank you card. Happy stamping, y'all!